So we have breaking news, and it's encouraging news, that Joe Biden is withdrawing all troops, all U.S. troops from Afghanistan by September of this year. Basically, the anniversary of the 11th of September, by that point, all U.S. troops will be out. And I know what you're probably thinking. I'll believe it when I see it. Because how many times have presidents, Democrats and Republicans, basically said that the mission in Afghanistan has been accomplished and now it's time to leave, right? Like, we've been hearing that for over half the time people have been in Afghanistan since 2001. But this tweet here from a journalist makes me believe that maybe possibly Biden actually means what he's saying. It says here, senior administration official says the withdrawal from Afghanistan by September 11 is not conditions-based. Biden has judged that a conditions-based approach, which has been the approach of the past 2 decades, is a recipe for staying in Afghanistan forever. And so basically what Biden is saying there is, look, if you set targets and quotas and red lines and have a very detailed checklist of all the things that need to get done before the U.S. can leave Afghanistan, you're never ever going to leave Afghanistan. Like, the conflict was a quagmire from the outset, and so to actually quote unquote fix everything 100%, whatever that means, it's never going to happen. And so Biden is right that at some point you have to pick a date and stick to it. Now, Biden still has to stick to that date. Maybe he won't. U.S. presidents have often set these sorts of dates and not always kept their promise. But the point is, this is an indication that he's taking it perhaps more seriously than some of his predecessors like Trump and indeed Barack Obama. I don't know. This is good news. This is good news. It's nothing to necessarily say that Biden is the greatest president ever sort of news, but it's good news. It's good news that the United States is cutting loose from Afghanistan, a conflict that frankly likely never should have happened. Unlike Iraq, most people sort of bought into Afghanistan. If you recall, Barbara Lee basically stood alone among American politicians in opposing that conflict. And she was right to do so in retrospect. Even Bernie, a guy I love and admire and respect so deeply, got it wrong on that one. He's admitted it. He said, I should have stood with Barbara Lee. And so this was like a generational error by American leadership. And it's time to fix that. Now, Biden needs to ensure that not only does he keep this promise to leave Afghanistan, but that he does better in not getting the U.S. into other conflicts that lock them into a country for 20 years that hurts Americans and especially hurts the people in that country, because this has been a disaster for Afghanistan, for the United States, for all the other countries that have been involved, like, Canada and other allied nations, and just really for the entire region around Afghanistan. So this is a good step, and I am encouraged. Ultimately, I need to see it before I 100% believe it. But if Biden keeps his promise, this is a good thing.